Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to do a quick test of the A7R V and the 24-105G OSS lens. One of you had asked me about testing this lens, so I want to take it out today, do some walking around and see what it looks like with me hand holding it. And right now it's just strictly hand holding. There is no stand. I do have one, so I will pull that up and carry with me, but I think for certain situations, at least for a small period of time, it should be fine. I can definitely feel it in my arm right now. This is definitely not the lens I would use for vlogging. Normally I carry the 16-35 f4, and I want to also try out the 15mm APS-C lens on this as well. So let's see how things look today. Before we get started on talking about the lens, let me first show some pictures because I want to talk about what I've seen so far, this lens and how it operates. I took a couple photos and I want to showcase them. I use the A7R V and the FX30, so these couple shots are going to be with the A7R V. You're going to see with the airplane flying, this was just a straight 26 megapixel setup. I didn't do the 61 megapixel because I've always set the camera to 21, because I've always set the camera to 26. So this is the 26 megapixel, and the second photo is going to be the crop. So you can see what it looks like. It's pretty detailed. I like how the camera captured it for being up in the sky and being able to zoom in on it, crop in on it, and still get a pretty good image. The other thing I noticed is that as far as the color is concerned, the blue in the sky looks blue, which is something that I complain about with the FX30, but actually things are looking much better on the A7R V. So that's a positive for that there. Now as far as the zoom goes, I wish this had a power zoom function. That would have made it a whole lot better and a whole lot easier to operate. It doesn't, but that doesn't mean that you can't use it nonetheless. However, when it comes to vlogging, that's something that I wouldn't want to walk around with too long term. And you'll see in the upcoming video what I'm talking about. It's steady, don't get me wrong, but if you do it for a long period of time, your hands are going to get tired. Doesn't mean that you can't do it. You can do it, and it's it's a heavy setup.
Blue moon, tune in tonight. Put you in that mood you like. Spirit moving, now loosen you up. You don't care, who cares? Look at you now, it's magic. Filling up glasses, looking like an actress. Ay, you just wanna listen to a classic, bouncing like a mattress. Man, I'm out of practice. Ay, sick of how slow just living's been. Hard to get right, being limited. You just wanna go where the rhythm is. Be in the crowd uninhibited. You can't lay low, so follow me, I obey. So I'll probably wake up holding my head, but I know what I get. So showstopper, go.
So while shooting photos with the combo, A7R V and the 24-105, I have to say it's a pretty good setup. They work well together. The extra stops that the stabilization gives you from the A7R V works very well with this lens. I'm actually happy with the setup, even though I'm still kind of eyeing that 20-70 f4, because it's slightly lighter, and knowing that on this camera I can actually drop it into crop mode, get a little bit more reach on it. That, basically brings me back to 105. So I'm still thinking, I should keep this lens. I like the fact that a lens focus fast. This one, it's pretty decent, but as far as the motors inside of it, it's not the same as the 20-70. That's a newer lens with the XD motor, which is going to be faster. For one of the things that I saw that I liked on it from a video perspective is the fact that it can keep tracking while you're zooming, which I've tried to zoom and track I'll keep things in focus, and sometimes it does lose focus when I'm doing that. So yeah, I like to test the lens first before I can actually say I'm going to jump on it, but we'll see. I like the 24-105. It works pretty well. It is heavier, so having a slightly lighter lens in my bag will definitely work. And as far as the hand holding stuff, yeah, right now I'm hand holding the FX30 with 11mm lens and just trying to get my body used to vlogging and holding a lens like this. It's a bear to hold for any long period of time, but I'm forcing myself to make this work. I spent the money on this camera. I gotta do these things. Of course, I prefer to be in a studio environment where I can sit down and talk to the camera and not have to worry about that. My hands can be free, I can show stuff. So this is just doing the thing my way to get comfortable with the gear that I bought. Okay, so the next series of shot is going to be from the FX30. I did utilize that lens on the FX30 as well because I wanted to see how things work and as far as how it would zoom in. So check these out and we'll come back and talk after the video. Now in the next series of videos, you're going to see me hand holding the camera and trying to track some birds that were hopping around the tree, and with me zoomed in trying to get a steady picture. There were some times I wasn't steady. I can't blame the lens. It was me not holding the camera steady enough. But for the most part, I think the footage turned out to be pretty good. For photography, it certainly would help you as far as hand holding and get a few stops down to take some pictures in low light. It's definitely not a 2.8 lens, it's an f4, but it still gets the job done. And as you can see from the clips here, this is the stability of the lens, just hand holding, trying to keep track of some birds hopping around the tree.
I was signing on the city lights. All this doubt around me, then but look, I got it right. Don't you try to hit me, now you live a petty life. All those nights I lay awake, I pray for better life. Now I wake up with a baddie like I said I might. This a better life, you never tried, I bet it right. This a better life, you never tried, I bet it right. You been stuck just where you at because you never tried. Want a better life, I had a try, I bet it right. Yeah, I just took a test and yeah, let me write. Look, I just took a test and yeah, I rolled the dice. Yeah, women, I'll be bad because the fuck was nice. But yeah, I must admit that this ain't overnight.
So if you've made it this far in the video, I'm gonna ask that you subscribe to the channel and give the video a thumbs up. I'm working on getting more content for you guys, whether it's camera related or travel related. I'm doubling up in what I'm doing. I'm more of a tech person, even though I started this channel to do tech gear and travel. I find that I'm loving more the tech stuff, so I'm asking you guys who are watching my tech stuff to subscribe. If you're someone who's watching the travel and you stumbled onto one of my tech videos, if you like the stuff that I'm putting out, remember, subscribe to the channel, give the videos a thumbs up so YouTube can get it out to more people. I really appreciate everyone who's been watching the channel and commenting on the videos. Okay, let's get back to the rest of the video. I also had an opportunity to do some nighttime shooting because I wanted to see what this thing is going to do in low light conditions. And you can see from the video, it actually did a pretty good job capturing some fireworks at night. I was surprised because it was a pretty good distance, but it actually turned out good. And really, I'm going to credit the A7R V for this. It's a full frame camera. I think the low light performance is pretty good on it. You know, it's not like the A7S III, sorry. It's not like the A7S III, but it actually holds its own. So I think the A7R V is a pretty good combo with this lens. If you want to do some hand holding shots, some nighttime shots, I think it works very well. At least for me so far, it's been doing pretty good. And I'm actually enjoying the combo so much that I'm not using the FX30 a lot. So far, my experience with this lens has been pretty good. So let's get to what you came here for. You want to see how this handles as far as a handheld vlogging device? All right, check out this video and then we'll talk some more. Okay, so we're at 24mm. And this is the walking test. I'm not walking very fast, but I'm hand holding it. I'm not utilizing the tripod. So this is just me hand holding, walking here by the mall, by the waterfront. I'm gonna give you a test to see how this thing works with just like a normal pace walking and hand holding the camera. This is definitely not something I would vlog with because it's actually on the heavy side, so going well, walking with it for too long, it will definitely put some weight on your arm. I can imagine what having a gimbal would actually do. So I just wanted to test this out so you guys can see what it's like. So this is the 24-70 and A7R V in a hand-holding vlog test. I think it's worked pretty well for short-term use, not for long-term use. So I wouldn't go walking around with it very often. I would use my 16-35 or the 11mm or the 15mm, because either one of those actually is going to work better than this setup. Okay, test over. Let me know what you guys think. So there you have it. That's a 24-105 with the A7R V walking around as a stability test. What do you think of it? I think it came out pretty good. Again, it's not something that I recommend that you walk around vlogging with because it is a bit of a heavy setup. We're talking roughly 3 pounds or so. Combining that with the FX30, you're gonna drop some weight, so it's going to be much less than that. And that camera kind of works as well, but it's still going to be crop mode, so I wouldn't really recommend that if you're going to do vlogging. On the A7R V, yeah, it works, but a much lighter lens like the 16-35 that I like to use. That's a much lighter lens to work with, and I think it gives a better field of view when it comes to the background. This is the FX30 again on the 11mm. This is why you can see all the things you see back behind me right here. This is a much lighter setup. This is my vlogging setup. So yeah, if you want to vlog with the A7R V, you can do it. Anyhow, I'm going to end the video here. I'd like to thank you for watching and stay tuned for the next one. See ya.